All right, let's get this started, folks. The business mindset, successful thinking made simple. This is a different webinar. It's a different class. What do I mean when I say that? I don't want you to take any notes. This is what I want you to do. I want you to shut everything down that might be open. I want you to turn your phone off. I want you to make sure that the only thing that is in your ears right now is me. And I want you to ensure that the only thing that you're looking at, if anything, is the screen. And just for this one class, I want you to give yourself the time to just listen to what I'm saying and take every bit of this into your unconscious mind. Know that you're going to get the notes anyway. I can send them to you to be available tomorrow. No requirement to take notes. Just want you to listen. I want you to hang with me for a little while and see whether I can teach you a few things that I know about business mindset that I found to be really successful. So I trust that you're going to enjoy that. That's the framework for tonight. And I want you just now, go ahead and do that for me. I want you to turn all those things off that are a distraction. Put the pen down if you've got one. No taking notes. And give yourself a little bit of time just to let this flow over you, okay? Everyone loves success. Why wouldn't you? Success is synonymous with all of the things that are bright and beautiful. Success in most people's eyes means really great fortune in both the literal and the figurative senses. It brings money, and with that money can come freedom. But it also brings things that are a little less tangible, but no less desirable. Things like fame, recognition, power, influence. In other words, success can be a wonderful thing. However, many people make the mistake of treating success as this end result. Folks, success is not a goal, it's a process. It's not about winning the race. It's about training for and running this race and every race to the best that you possibly can. It's about enjoying everything leading up to the race as well as the race itself. As much as the spoils of being victorious, as much as the dramas of every now and then falling over. This training is about the mindset that will bring that kind of success. And as a business person, as a coach, you have an imperative to succeed because you've got no other choice. It's either succeed or go and get a job helping someone else succeed. There's no middle ground. However, the successful coach doesn't charge blindly into the marketplace, relying on chance. You'll learn to develop the character traits that will allow you the best opportunity to reach your personal and professional goals. And these traits are like little building blocks, and they form a solid base that can be utilized to make the right decisions at the right time. They can support all of the other learned skills and allow further development. And they're a resource that you're going to be able to draw upon in any time of need. In my life, the most successful people that I've met and seen and read about look on success like this exponential process. It's a process in which every opportunity to succeed leads to further opportunities. And in that way, success isn't a goal. It becomes a journey of self-development. And like all personal development, it's deeply personal. It's intrinsic. It's not a set of tricks or hacks. It's a way of looking at the world and a way of looking at yourself. All successful people know that how you do something is far more important than what it is you're doing. The goal's not finite. It's not fixed. It's this daily affirmation that leads to weekly achievements, which in turn lead to monthly achievements, which in turn lead to yearly achievement, which in turn lead to this lifelong positive journey. Successful coaches are successful because they've wired themselves to realize what they want to achieve. They have a mindset that is tuned perfectly to success, kind of almost spiritual. And you guys get I'm not a woo-woo person, right? I'm kind of getting there, I am. And they win the game. And if you ever listen to me talk, I always talk about life like the game. And they win over and over again because they think like winners and they act like winners and they do what winners do and have a mindset of winning. So to paraphrase an old saying, they think, therefore they know they can succeed. Cool? What I want to do is help you to learn how to develop that kind of mindset tonight. That mindset that will bring you the literal and the tangible results that are the result of successful thinking. Unlike other resources, this training, this hour that we're going to hang out together, it's not focused on theory. It's why I want you to listen. It's why I want you just to take this in. I want you to just be with it. I want you to learn the different ways of thinking and acting that you can apply right now in your life, in your coaching business to achieve success. And I want those applications to be quick and to the point. And I don't want you to be taking copious notes. I want you to learn about the application so that you can develop your own understanding of the concepts. I want punchy so that you can use it in your life. The point for tonight isn't to teach you the philosophy of success. I want you to learn how to use specific mental tools that are going to help you to develop your own successful mindset. The mindset that's going to help you win, and help you win every day. Take lots of victories, no matter what you do. And life's a game. Consider this training as a little mini cheat sheet for successful thinking. No real chapters in a traditional sense. No real takeaway points in the traditional sense. Just a training that I wrote over the last week with each specific application presented as a standalone topic, complete in itself. Each one equally as important as the others. Each specific one from my viewpoint, none of which will take precedent one over the other. I'm going to put them in an order tonight, but there is no order. When you get the reference point tomorrow, jump around, check it out, go to what interests you. The choice will be yours. So the last thing I'll say is that this is like a little mini reference resource that you'll have forever. You can use it daily. You can use it to refresh your mindset if you need to realign your outlook, to remind you that real success lies in the journey of winning and little small wins. So if you're ready to take this little journey with me, let's get started. When it comes to survival, we're visual animals. As a species, our eyesight is our most developed sense. We've got stereoscopic sight, and it can detect a wide variety of colours and shades, and it in turn lets us see easily patterns and movement. These combined abilities allow us to avoid becoming dinner while trying to get dinner for ourselves. Our vision helped us to succeed, still does today. When it comes to business success, vision's just as important for your survival. But instead of our sense of sight, this vision involves our sense of imagination, our sense of possibility. Vision in the business sense is really the ability to visualize successful outcomes. It's your ability to imagine positive results. At its heart, it's the ability to lucidly dream of where you want to go with your business. I want you to stop being afraid to dream. Henry Ford once said, if you can think you can do something, or if you think you can't do something, you're right. So spend a few minutes every day visualizing where exactly you plan on going and how you plan on getting there. It's not daydreaming, is it? Not in the coach's world. Far from it. It's focused development. It's scheduling. It's organization. Plan your days by seeing the optimum outcomes. This is the exact same process that I take my athletes with. When you imagine yourself succeeding, you're more likely to actually succeed. You get this, you coach this, you teach this, but are you doing it? Remember, if you don't take the time to build your own dreams, someone will hire you to take the time to build their dreams. All right, let's look at focus. In any activity, in any endeavor, you've got to build endurance. As a sports coach, as a sports scientist, endurance for me can be defined as the ability to focus on the task at hand, bring it to a successful conclusion. Some people might call it fortitude. Some people call it strength. Some people call it stamina. No matter what you call it, endurance is the ability for you to persevere, to get the job done, no matter what. Now, usually when we speak of endurance, we refer to physical activity. We refer to athletes. Endurance is just as important in your coaching world as it is anywhere else. In our world, this endurance usually takes the form of focus. So instead of concentrating on physical prowess, becomes the ability to concentrate successfully on a given task. This focus is a critical skill set for you as a coach, especially when there are so many distractions, and it's why I asked you tonight to focus. So how do you do it? How do you focus when you're meant to be multitasking? When by pure definition your role is that several things are happening at one time. The key to successful focus is your attention. When there's a whole ton of stuff happening in your business, in your life, when they're all happening simultaneously, you need to laser focus on one thing. It doesn't mean that you bring one task to full completion before you start another. It means you spend enough time on a given task to take it to the next stage of development and then turn your attention somewhere else. It's a little like being a mother duck with the ducklings. Give your attention to the duckling that's furthest out of the line, nudge it forward where it should be before you turn your attention to the next little duck. Each duckling gets a measure of your focus, but none gets all of your attention all the time. In that way, each task will get moved along in turn. All are successfully completed in time. Cool. I want to talk a little bit about risk-taking. Do you guys get that these are all little things I've learned? None more important than any other. I'm sure that you've heard that saying, nothing ventured, nothing gained. There's a strong element of truth in that. And at the risk of following one old saying with another, without risk, there is not and cannot be any reward. There's an element of chance inherent in every single venture. And unless that chance is recognized and faced, the venture won't become a reality. There are people who are natural risk takers, and there are people who are naturally risk averse. The key to success when it comes to risk taking is for you to understand what type of person you are and how that personality can affect your business when it comes to dealing with risk. Keep in mind that the secret of success when it comes to business risk is to mitigate potential damage. And make sure you mitigate potential damage in favor of gain. And when you look at it that way, neither type of risk personality in and of itself can provide an advantage over another. A risk taker can just as easily overreach themselves as the risk-averse person can underreach. It's why my marriage works so well, by the way. So when faced with a situation that offers reward and risk, and you guys get this all the time in your current life with your coaching business, the key is to coolly and impartially assess the potential positives and negatives and then make a decision. But I can tell you this, success in business and successful business people are sometimes seen as risk takers simply because they understand the danger in the situation they're looking at better than anyone else. So while it can appear dangerous to others or risky, the reality is it's not. Let me give you an example. We spend about 150 grand a year on our online advertising. Yes, you heard that right, about 150 grand a year, about 3 grand a week. And I talk to students, and I 100% respect this. I talk to students on a, 2 to 3 day rotation who will talk about their Facebook ad or their Google ads. And I acknowledge you guys that are out there doing that. I love that. But the conversation often goes like this. Glenn, I've had, they'll call me Doc, right? I've had 25 clicks in the last 3 days and no opt-ins. How much have you spent? I spent $15 now and I'm freaking out. But for me, I think about it and I think you're not quite looking at the risk and the real risk or the not risk that it is. In particular, I had a chat with a lovely coach last week who has a $2,000 coaching client. And I think it was at $65 that she was up to at that stage with her investment. And she got the client online, right? So it's just looking at risk. I look at it a bit like this. Successful business people who take risks, they're kind of like a professional tightrope walker. Now to us, it looks like this death-defying, terrifying thing. But to them, it's just another day at the office because their skill, their training, their preparation offset the risk. And it just appears unbelievably dangerous to us. So in your coaching business, don't be afraid of risk, but at the same time, don't take risk too lightly. Weigh up your options, come to a prudent decision, move forward with confidence. Thank you, John. I'm enjoying giving it. I'm enjoying hanging out with you guys. You guys get this is different, right? This is kind of almost like a lecture. But I've been sitting for a week thinking about all of these things, and I wanted to give them to you as a chunk. And I wanted to give them to you as a chunk just so you can listen. All right. This one's funny. I like this. Super straightforward. Now, President Truman had a sign on his desk that said, "The buck stops here." And what he meant was, as the president, he didn't have the option to pass the buck when it came to mistakes or failures. He was the boss. The buck stopped with him. Pretty good advice for any business owner, right? When it comes to the results of the decisions that you make, don't pass the buck. Everyone who has done Coach Mastery will be aware of that line that gets drawn across the board and that whole concept of making sure that we're living above the line, at cause. So for me, this is about being responsible for everything. Owning up to the success, owning up to the mistake. I see this in my sporting life all the time. Making sure that if you get out, you own it. And if you make runs, you own it. You got to do both, right? So this one's easy, just about taking responsibility. You get that, right? All of the coaches on this call, and it's all of you, will understand inherently where that's at. Mindfulness, man, is an experience an incredible teacher. Every day, our lives are jam-packed with all of these experiences. A lot of them happen every day. Some of them are less common. Occasionally, some are so unique that they literally change our lives. However, whether the experience is mundane, whether it's out of the world, it offers you a teaching moment. Most of us will hopefully come away from the unique experiences with a fresh perspective. But what I've found is that most people fail to grasp the enlightenment that is inherent in the day-to-day activities, because they, by necessity, take up the majority of our time. Now, I did a little reading, and the Buddhists call this awareness of the learning potential in the commonplace mindfulness. Successful business people understand this concept, utilize it to their advantage. I'm getting there. Because when you begin to be mindful, you see that everything that you do has merit. And you start to realize that no matter what you're doing, you're capable of doing it better. Now, in business, that means you begin to pay much closer attention to every task. You understand that every task fits into others, and together they comprise the whole of your enterprise. If you take a shortcut or you cut a corner on the smallest thing, it undermines the larger things. When you attempt to do the most basic job to the very best of your ability, this mindful mindset carries over into all other areas. And that's how you can bring excellence to your business. So I encourage you, use every experience, every day as a moment to learn. Be mindful of bad or lazy behavior. Be mindful of bad or lazy work ethic, and work to change it to become more positive, more productive, because your entire business is going to benefit from that attention to detail. And this mindfulness can be the thing that can create an organization. It's certainly the thing that will create your brand, whether or not you're the kind of brand that will do anything for your clients, where the little things do count. All right, competition. I personally believe our world is a game. That's me. I love it. I love to play games. And the world, to an extent, is all about the concept of competition. Everything living competes for specific resources that are needed for it to grow, to thrive, to outperform. Sunlight, space, water, nutrients, they're all utilized by the smallest to the largest creatures, aren't they? Wherever they're found. As humans, we're hardwired to engage in this competitive contest. It's part of our genetic heritage, and it's one every single business owner needs to embrace and love. Here's the challenge. Some of you, from the conversations we've had, I can tell, perceive competition as this undesirable trait. Maybe look at competition as a black and white issue. It's seen as either win at all cost, take no prisoners, it's watered down, it's a barely discernible version of itself. Here it is. I actually believe that when you have those views, it masks the true nature and the power of what competition can be. Because in reality, competitive and a competitive nature need not be black or white. Genuine competition is this beautiful, wonderful, valid force for change. I think that success in your business is about knowing that healthy and honest competition is a massive motivating force behind being innovative. And I've said this a million times. Business is all just about two things: innovation and marketing. Innovation and marketing. In the business world, like the natural world, is driven forward by the continuation of innovation that occurs in a response to the change that we have in our existing environments in business. Now, in the natural world, these changes are climatic. The life form that best adapts to the change survives and thrives. In the business world, these changes are socio-economic. The business that best predicts market trends, meets the demands, is the business that survives and thrives. Now, as a business owner, you need to remember that competition is the lifeblood of our marketplace. It not only drives innovation, but it inspires creativity. So don't shy away from this natural competitive nature that you've got. You're in a game right now. Play the game to win, because I can tell you the people that are in your space are. Challenge yourself and challenge them. Drive each other to be better, to create better products, better coaching services, to a higher performance. Every time you win the game, you show the way to a next level and to the next round and to the next race. And competition is the true heart of business success anyway. So get in the game. Get competitive in your coaching business. All right, let's talk about persistence. For starters, how many old sayings and cliches are there about persistence? The early bird catches the worm. Slow and steady wins the race. If at first you don't succeed, try again. If life gives you lemons, make lemonade. The list goes on and on. The reason there are so many old sayings about persistence is twofold. First, it's a really important element in success, and second, it's an element of success that gives a lot of people trouble. Something that's as important and troublesome as persistence deserves a lot of cliched sayings and a lot of attention and a lot of your attention. And in the last Master Practitioner of NLP training, the guys who asked me to come up onto stage and wanted someone to model, guess what? The thing they wanted to model was my persistence. Of all the things they could choose, that was what they wanted to model. How did I have that, create that? How do I do that? So here's the thing. The problem with the road to success that you guys are all on is that lots of people only picture the destination. They forget about the journey. When you do this, not only do you fail to see that true success can never be the destination, it's a lifelong process, right? But you also fail to see the potential problems that routinely occur. These things that are popping up that you can't see, that can't see the forest through the trees. Now, this means that when these problems do come up, you're unprepared and you just stop, frozen. And sometimes you can forget where you were going, why you were going there, and instead head back to where you came from. But when you're prepared for the fact that there's going to be speed humps and setbacks along the journey, you can be ready to repair, rethink, re-engage. Having persistence and the persistent person, you get to understand that failure and it's a little bit of failure, well, it is only feedback. And there is no real failure, just feedback. And you just try another way. And there are so many powerful lessons. And each one of those lessons make you stronger when you get that feedback. Now, Gandhi said, strength does not come through winning. Instead, strength comes through failure. When you struggle and decide not to quit, that is strength. It's also persistence and points out why every successful business owner that I've studied understands that setbacks are opportunities in disguise. If they're persistent, if they keep turning up. Does that make sense? Thank you for the thank yous, by the way. I'm enjoying throwing some of this stuff out. So I appreciate the fact that you guys are enjoying it as well. Thank you. All right, you guys guessed that this is not my big thing, okay? This is not my big thing. But networking is essential. We've got someone on the call right now whose name is Sue Raffin, who lives in WA. She's our coach, advanced coach mastery trainer. Sue is an incredible networker, brilliant. And networking provides you with contacts and leads and clients and partners, suppliers, and all these other things. And it helps you to carry your name and your business reputation farther, more efficiently than almost all advertising. And it can be an endless source of profit and ideas and collaboration. When you're networking, you need to keep a couple of important things in mind. Every social or professional engagement can provide you an opportunity to network. There's often nothing more formal about it than an exchange of information, follow-up connection, and this whole concept of get Ted, not Ting. Be interested in them, not trying to be interesting. And when you're networking, just treat people normally, the way you'd want to be treated. No strings advice. Solve a problem for free. Listen more than you talk. Silence can be golden when you're networking. And always remember that honesty is the best policy. Don't promise something that you can't produce. Don't be someone that you're not. Be yourself and watch connections grow and become a true networker. And if you ever get into a room with Sue Raffin, watch what the Raffinator does, because she's wonderful at networking. All right. You might be asking yourself, what exactly is a growth mindset? 1 second, I'm going to have a really quick drink. It's a lot of talking. I bet you're glad you don't have to take notes. What exactly is a growth mindset? To me, a growth mindset is an actual, demonstrable, psychological phenomenon. Turns out that lots of long-term successful people possess certain characteristics that they share with other long-term successful people. And these characteristics have been termed a growth mindset. Now, there are some of you out there, and certainly some of the people you might know, and a lot of people I know, who achieve less than their potential. And they also possess a set of characteristics that they share with other people that don't achieve what they could. Now, this set of traits has been called the fixed mindset. Most people more or less fall into one camp or the other. You've either got a growth or a fixed. Cool? People with a growth mindset tend to have a desire to learn from life. And that desire leads to the ability to embrace new challenges, to overcome setbacks, to see effort as worth the results, to accept criticism, to admire and to learn from the successes of others. And those behaviors allow intelligence to grow. People with the growth mindset are believers in free will. That belief allows them to achieve their goals time and time and time again. People with a fixed mindset tend to have a desire to appear smart. They have a corresponding fear of looking foolish. Their desire leads them to avoid challenges, to give up, to see extra effort as wasted, to ignore or even reject criticism, to envy and begrudge the success of others. Those behaviors tend to limit native intelligence. People with a fixed mindset will often plateau early in life. They'll fail to have and really fail to even reach fixed goals. Here's the thing. A growth mindset can be cultivated fairly easily by changing a few critical behaviors. First of all, you have to decide to choose growth over stagnation. You have to be willing to take positive action. You need to begin to accept challenges, take on criticism, and learn from both of those things. A wonderful way to begin, if this is you, is by developing the philosophy of YET, Y-E-T. This simple step, that simple little word, yet, if you just attach that to the end of every negative thought, as in, that will never work yet, or it's probably not worth going yet, that little trick opens up the possibility for growth. And that possibility leads to change behavior that will cause you to develop a growth mindset. So if you're thinking, I don't have a growth mindset, you're now thinking, I don't have a growth mindset yet. Isn't that cool? Sue Raffin, no notes. I'm giving you all the notes. You don't have to take them. I'm looking after you. Okay, so nothing succeeds like success, right? That's what they say. True success comes from confidence, and confidence in terms comes from success. They each revolve around the other in this ultimate, beautiful, symbiotic relationship. However, this is not a what came first, the chicken or the egg kind of thing. Confidence definitely precedes success in the order of appearance. That's because the quiet assurance of true confidence, as opposed to the mere cockiness, serves to lay the foundation for reaching any goal. Confidence is more of an outward manifestation of an inward persona than it is this pose or an affection, right? Cockiness, on the other hand, is an outward shield that masks an inward insecurity. Now, as a business owner, you need to be confident of yourself. You need to be confident of your product. You need to be confident of your coaching. People they will react positively to you if you're a confident coach, especially if that confidence is real, if it's part of your soul. And if you want to develop that kind of confidence, that true confidence, there are things you can do. Firstly, always remember that confident people are able to take a stand on an issue or a decision, not because they think they're right, but because they're not afraid to be wrong. Confident people see a difficult situation as an opportunity to grow. Finding the right solution to a problem is more important than being right. Therefore, if you're wrong, you'll admit it. Move on. Find another way. Confident people listen more than they talk. Confident people are more interested in hearing different information and opinions than they are about broadcasting their own. They're never afraid to admit fallibility or ask for help. They know that other people's knowledge is their greatest strength. They understand that success is a team sport. They know that any goal is achieved through the efforts of many, not just a few. So when given a chance, you share the spotlight and you shine it on others far more than you shine it on yourself. Now, isn't it funny that all of the things that are true confidence are actually the opposite of what most people think? Don't you love that? Don't you love that? Yeah, Liz, me too. What about hustle? You know, there's this certain urgency to success. Now, that urgency doesn't apply so much to the fruits of success as it does to the desire for being successful. You've got to want to succeed before you can even begin to try to succeed. You've got to want success more than you want anything else. That desire, that will engender the work ethic that will be necessary for you to succeed. That's right. There is a definite work ethic that successful people bring to the table. If you want to succeed, you've got to emulate that work ethic. If you want to succeed, you've got to have some hustle. Hustle's about walking the success walk. Anyone can talk about success, but talk is cheap, right? You can talk about success all day long, all night long, not get one step closer to it. And I've seen this. The only way to reach your goals is to put in the necessary work to get them. Now, that work will require concentration, creativity, conscious effort, mindfulness. No secrets there, right? You're going to have to sweat to get there. The hours are going to be long. The tasks are going to be all-consuming. And I'm afraid to tell you that there is no such thing as an instant success. Often the people that we might see who appear to be enjoying overnight success, they've hustled hard for years to get there. So remember that success means work and work means hustle. Go the extra mile in everything you do, because in the long run, those extra miles are going to put you ahead of the pack, going to help you win, get your hustle on. I'm going to give you one example that I had recently, really recently, okay? And it was a student who rang me and said, Glenn, I can't make this coaching business happen. And I said, tell me what's going on. And they said, I get up at 7, I go to work, I'm at work by 9, I'm at work till 5, I'm home at 6. I can't possibly grow my coaching business. And I asked one question. I said, what do you do between 7 and 2? She said, what do you mean? I said, what do you do between 7 and 2? Because that's the second shift. And if you want this, you need to start working a second shift on your business. You've got to get your hustle on. Not forever, but you've got to get your hustle on to make it happen. Cool? Now you guys probably get a lot of this with me, right? Because I don't think there's anything more important to achieving success than passion. Now, it might sound a bit extreme, but in order to reach a goal, you have to burn for it. It's got to be something that's on your mind all the time, all consuming. In fact, passion is the flip side of hustle. The two go hand in hand with each other. So how do they work together? Well, one will always require the other one. They drive each other. Without one, you can't have the other. Hustling is all about hard work, long hours, extra mile. Passion is the motivation that gets you to do the hard work. Face it, if you're not on fire about a project, you're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to be able to motivate yourself to do it. So how do you obtain or maintain passion? How as a business owner? Well, here's my answer. You should already have it. You should already be passionate about your business. If you're not, you need to ask why not. Is it really that you're not passionate about it, or is it that you're not prepared to do the hustle? Are you passionate and not prepared to do the hustle? You got to ask yourself that question. There's no sense and there's no reason to waste your time trying to be enthusiastic about something that doesn't move you. If you're already doing something that you love to do, I promise you, you're halfway there. Then you've got to let your love and your passion and your hustle help you see it through. And I promise you, when you bring that to the table, the people that you meet, the people that are in your business, they'll see, they'll notice, they'll see the passion. All right, creativity. This is a fun one, and I've done a couple of classes on creativity, right? So Sue says the extra mile's a lonely path, so learn to love your own company. I like that. Claire, nothing succeeds like excess. Oscar Wilde. Feeling inspired. I love that. Good on you guys. We're going well. It's a fun class. My semi-lecture. All right, creativity. Here's the thing. A lot of people believe creativity can be elusive. It's not something they can just summon at will. When it happens, it strikes like lightning, right? But you know what? Like lightning, it can be unpredictable. But because creativity is an essential element of your business, it's necessary for you to understand the creative process. And there is a class all about getting creative. And I encourage you, go to the marketing section, go to how to build your business or the business tools or whatever that section is, and find the session on creativity. And there's a whole lot of tasks that you can do, right? The creative process, by the way, it's largely internal. It's an unconscious process. No one ever wakes up and says, hey, today I'm going to be creative. Creativity is all about taking in a ton of different influences and letting all of those influences combine and ferment and morph into your subconscious. And together, they form this sort of mental potting soil where new and different and changed ideas get a chance to germinate and grow and develop. The more things that you learn and read and see and hear, the more the creative soil starts to produce for you. So as a coach or as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, if you want to be creative, the best thing that you can do is get out there into your world and open yourself up to new experiences. Be curious, develop some hobbies, challenge yourself, do something different, because the more you push that personal envelope, the more you get to change your world, the more you get to charge your batteries. When your batteries are charged, it's more likely that that inspiration that you're looking for will strike, and who knows what will happen from there. How flexible are you? Because I can tell you that there is nothing more stifling to success than rigid thinking, because it leads to rigid behaviors, and rigid behaviors lead to dead ends, blind alleys, creative courts. So while there's a certain amount of comfort in routine, too much routine chokes off your chances to be successful. Why? Simple. Because the world, your world, is constantly changing. Rigid thinking and rigid behaviors by definition are resistant to change. Remember I said to you, the key to any business, two things, innovation and marketing. Your world is changing. So rigidity in thought and action spells obsolescence in the business world. Where everyone else is moving forward, you get left behind. So what do you need to be? You need to be flexible. Because I tell you now, in this world right now, information is power. It's money and it's control, all rolled into one. The fast and free flow of information is what makes this possible for us now. That's why it's exciting where we are. Everything changes quickly, and what's successful, what's a successful formula or a popular product in one cycle, last year, could be old news in 6 months' time. The only way to stay on top is to have this real flexibility and be flexible enough to roll with changes. And it's easy to achieve as long as you're not too tied down to one idea or one product or one service. And that's about becoming an entrepreneur. Don't fall in love with your product. You can do anything. This is just where you are now. Cool? If you keep up with changing market conditions, if you keep looking at the flow of information, you can spot new trends. You can adopt new trends. You can change before your competitors. The key is just not to fear the change. Embrace it. Be flexible. All right. We're going to cruise. We're going to finish this one, okay? There's not a whole lot more time to go. We've all heard a lot about the power of positive thinking. You guys are coaches. We talk about it all the time. It can change outlooks. It can change fortunes. But are you doing it? Are you doing it? Or are you just coaching it? Are you flexible? Are you creative? Are you developing and maintaining strong passions for things that you love? To use the power of positive thinking in your business, you have to begin with a critical assessment of who you are. What's your outlook? Make an examination of how you're operating day to day. Are you being real? Are there areas where you're still letting negativity come in? Or are you truly being positive? Are you adapting and constantly having in your life freedom and choice and possibility and optimism and openness? Or could you do more to increase those? Are you asking yourself, How can I do this? How can I do that? Instead of why is this happening? Just a little check-in. You'll know the answers. Gratefulness. It's easy to expect to be successful, and it's easy to believe that being successful was this right, this privilege, but it's a gift. The problem with expecting to succeed is that without more success, you can become a little self-absorbed. And that's what we want to make sure that we're avoiding in our business. Because your true success will be earned, and when it arrives, it needs to be accompanied by gratitude. This gratitude is not simply about being grateful for what you've achieved. It's about being grounded enough as a coach in that moment to remember and to recognize everyone who helped you get to where you are. And with grounded gratefulness, you can feel like the success is earned. And without it, the success is lessened, I reckon. And it's probably going to be fleeting. So how do you repay the people that helped you achieve your goals? You can acknowledge them. That's great. Good place to start. You need to pay it forward. Become a mentor for someone. By the way, for the TLCC mentors that are behind the scenes working, I love you guys so much for what you're doing at the moment. I appreciate it. So you could do that. You can collaborate with someone else, help them with their efforts, maybe contribute to a new project. There are people who are currently helping you every day that you might not see as mentors. Could be clients, because without them, your success is impossible, right? So do you take the time to let them know how important they are? What about the people who are your vendors? Do you look after them and let them know that they're important? Are you grounded enough to do that? Because they're pivotal in your business as well. Be prepared to look outside the box, and you'll see that your success is not a solo effort. It is a team sport. Are you looking after your team? Last one. There's absolutely no way for you to be successful, to reach your goals, until you accept who you are. You have to like yourself and what you do before anyone else will. The world detects how you feel about yourself. The universe knows, and often simply shares the opinion that you have about who you are. So I encourage you, coach, be yourself and free yourself. You're an individual. You're unique. Your talents, your abilities, your intelligence, your interests, your opinions, your tastes, they all make up who you are. There's no need to hide any of that or alter a part of yourself for the sake of conforming. True success is about freedom. And every truly successful person I've ever met or known, they accept and glorify who they are. I want you to do the same. Now, what this doesn't mean is glorifying mediocrity. I want you to be the very best version of you possible. This means you have to work at being you. You have to put the time into self-improvement. Acceptance is not an excuse for laziness or cowardice or fear. This life that you lead, that I lead, that we're leading as coaches, it's a gift. It's a privilege. And the gift and the privilege is that you get to be yourself, the best self that you can be. And I want you to use the gift. Take advantage of the privilege that you've got. Take the chance. Let your unique light shine through, because that's the light that is going to illuminate the path for your clients. And that's the light that's going to illuminate the path to real success. And it'll be the light that will attract other people to you. That's us. Thank you so much for coming and for spending an hour with me. And I really, really trust that you enjoyed it. I enjoyed creating it. And I loved having a chance to just give you an hour of what I really think a successful mindset is. So thank you so much for being here. And thank you for the thank yous. I appreciate them. Please know that this recording will be up tomorrow. Please know that the actual slides that I wrote, that'll all be there as well. So you'll be able to just grab that as a reference. All right. Lovely hanging out. I am going to get home to my little people. Everyone that is thanking me, you are so welcome. I'm really glad you were here. And we'll all catch up soon. All right. Thank you for the thank yous. I really appreciate it. See you all soon. Bye, guys.